I want to take a look now at road conditions across the state. Almost every highway in west and southwestern Kansas is closed.
On today's episode of Watch JR Go, I'm here with Gabe, and I guess we're doing a power steering pump on a snowplow. What is going on, guys? I am Watch JR Go, and like I said, I'm here with Gabe with a snowplow truck, which is definitely just an old Tahoe.
Or Suburban.
Suburban Tahoe.
Same difference.
Yep.
Yeah.
I guess you got that extra 18 inches. It's really the difference. It has no power steering, and it hasn't for a long time, apparently. How long?
Well, at least the last 2 snow cycles. So.
Okay, so this season.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Well,
Yeah, I on me the first time I was plowing, and I was like, oh, well.
Yep. I can also see how that would be terrible because obviously a snowplow adds a ton of extra weight on the front of these things, probably 1,000 pounds. And when you add a bunch of weight to the front end, you make it way harder to steer.
Yep.
So you pretty much have to be rolling to steer this thing, right?
The entire time.
The whole, no turning if you don't have 5 miles an hour. All right, so we're gonna jump under the hood of this thing. It belongs to a school and they need it to finish plowing, and obviously there's another snowstorm today. You can see the snowplow is actually covered in snow. I guess you've been out using it.
Yep.
And hopefully using it the rest of the season will be better after we get this pump changed. So you already got the hood open, let's jump in here. Man, we're gonna be in here fighting snow the whole time. It does look like this can come off, but it also,
Come off, but
it looks like a huge chore to get it off. I mean, maybe it's about 4 inches from the ground, so maybe you can put 4x4s under it and then drop that on the ground and then hopefully get it back on. It's just, we're not taking the snowplow off because we don't know what it's gonna take.
I'm not going to do the hopeful thing.
The hopeful thing. Okay, so all of this is for the snowplow too, because that's Meyer. And then these have the same connectors, so all of that block over there must be for the plow too. Man, a TBI 350, old bulletproof herself. How's it starting up in the cold?
It's actually not too bad.
I didn't think it would be. All right, well,
Can't tell it's running. That's it. That's the fun thing is,
It's quiet.
Oh man, it's
Yeah,
so quiet.
no exhaust leak. I heard it.
It starts and then you're like, wait, did it start?
I like how that brake booster is completely rusted. Oh, it was a replacement. The replacements don't come painted, so somebody swapped it. And then, of course, it rusted right out. That power steering pump looks like it's gonna be a lot of fun. What do you wanna do to get to it? I mean, obviously, you gotta get the bracket off. Do you have the pulley puller too?
Yeah, we've got something.
Okay.
Somewhere. I thought you had one.
I do not have the pulley puller, but we can rent it from O'Reilly's. Did you try filling it with stop leak first?
Yeah, well, actually, the funny thing is I go to check it, power steering fails. I'm like, oh, shoot, what'd I do? Go, look, and it's got all the fluid.
Okay.
It never ran out. I was like, dadgummit.
Did it scream?
No, didn't scream, didn't do it. It just stopped.
Huh, that is
So,
interesting.
I'm thinking
You're sure it's the pump and it didn't blow the seals out of the rack?
all the fluid's still there no matter what. So
Well, yeah, that's a good point.
I'm thinking it just sheared
The drive
shaft.
inside the pump,
Yeah.
something like that.
yeah.
I mean, I think that the shaft would come out if that happened, but who knows? Maybe it was retained. I guess you got the part, right?
I thought you got the part.
I did not get the part.
Yeah, we got the part.
Gabe's going in to try to get the belt off. I think you just,
Grab that tensioner.
yep, grab that tensioner. That one's actually, that's the one where you have to stick the 3/8 or half-inch ratchet right into the tensioner. It's been a long time since I've had to work on a TBI 350. And I forgot these are also steering box trucks, not rack and pinion. And that steering box doesn't usually blow apart. It's right down there. So I bet that it is the pump, just like you said.
There we go.
Boom.
Look at that magic.
She's off. If you just let go of the ratchet sometimes, it flings it into the next dimension off the tensioner.
I don't think we want to do that.
Well, we have confirmed that he does have a bad power steering pump because... Wow. Wow.
Oh,
Look at that. The whole shaft just came out.
Look at that. Who needs a power or the pulley?
You don't need a pulley puller.
No.
I mean, you do because we have to get the shaft out.
Eventually, yes. But
Did you guys just see the entire shaft
goodness.
just came out of the power steering pump with a wiggle and a pull? Now, Gabe's bound up on the fan here. The fan is holding him back. That is so funny. I have never seen anyone just be able to pull the entire thing out.
That is impressive.
I think if you go your way, go up on the fan, it might get by you.
Probably pull us.
Yes. Or you might break the fan. It's one or the other. Hey, you got it.
Who needs a fan?
You don't need a fan.
Yeah, it's winter.
These mechanical fans are the worst thing on the planet.
I absolutely agree.
E-fans change the world.
That's what I'm putting on my cars.
Look at that.
Sheared.
That is insane. Well, that's some crazy damage you got there.
Bro.
I will say that having that off makes this the easiest removal ever. Because I think some people pull a radiator to do this job. And I think when I was a kid, I was doing this job and I didn't know how. And there's no chance I would have pulled a radiator. So I think it can be done without it. But I also think that that makes it really easy compared to what you normally have to do.
I mean, yeah, good job, GM, on designing this to do that.
Yeah, because, to fail.
Given your guys a solid pulley that have bolts that are like 6 inches.
Yeah, what's up with that pulley? It should just be an open pulley like all the new ones are.
You've got, how many bolts? 1, 2, 3? Yeah, there are 3 bolts behind the pulley that have to be pulled.
Correct.
They did it for speed.
For speed.
Less drag.
Yeah, exactly. All right, here's our new pump. While Gabe's in there ripping things apart, check it out. He's got a new belt tensioner there. He's got the Master Pro 7312262 BP from O'Reilly's there, which is a new pump with the reservoir and everything. I forgot what these pumps are called. There's a name for them.
Power steering pump.
No, there's a real name for the guy that designed it. You need to know the two. There's the Corvette pump, and then there's this pump. And this, it starts with like a W or something. But that's what you call these. Anyway, power steering fluid. What's this for?
Oh, that is...
Oh, a power steering filter. I like it. That's cool. That way, the next time the pump fails, it won't send trash through the system.
Correct.
And new belts. So everything's here. We are going to throw you guys into time lapse while we continue to rip out the old pump. So this shouldn't take too much longer now that you got the hard part out of the way in 3 seconds.
I mean, when I do it, I do it. So.
I'm glad you checked. It could have just been your pure strength that ripped that metal shaft in half. That's right. That's Mr. Universe himself right there.
That's from, gosh, stupid power steering pump failure, dude.
It's so funny. Yeah, you got all those muscles from not having power steering. And we got the old power steering pump out. Take a look at it there, hanging out with the new one. And what we did, because I know I used to do these when I was a kid, and there's no chance I would have taken a radiator out, because that's insane, right? A radiator's a big thing. I know now it's a lot easier to do stuff like that. But what we did was take the easy route, which is simply to knock the fan off the front of the water pump pulley. Some people may not have luck with that, but I have the air hammer set up right there. You can see it. So we grabbed that real quick, and it took like a 1-second hammer, and boom,
that was pretty cool.
The fan was off. If you're taking the fan off, the air hammer needs to come down. You need to run it that way to unscrew it on these things. It takes a second to think through them sometimes, so if you're following this video, turn it that way and it'll come right off.
From the driver to the passenger side for us directionally challenged.
There you go. Over here, we kept making it easy after we got the fan off, and we simply pulled all the bolts out of the pump and then removed the entire bracket. So you don't need to unhook any of the AC. Obviously, don't do that. You don't want to recharge your AC. Just pull those 4 bolts, pull the other 3 bolts that are holding the bracket on, and it just slides right off the front once the fan's out of the way. And then you can do everything right there. So the old pump's out. We're ready to set up the new pump, move the pressure sensor over, all that fun stuff. This is what could have been an all-day job, especially with a plow on the front of it, is now an hour-and-a-half job.
So the book says this is going to be a 3-hour job, but it never goes like that.
Exactly. It instead turned into a 1 hour and a half. Well, I know, we got to get...
It kind of did help. This was like...
Yes, it did help. That did help a lot. Even if you don't ever need to pull the radiator, if you just pulled the fan, you would have room to use the pulley puller.
You think so?
I think so. At least the ones I've used in the past are only about 6 inches long. So.
I mean, yeah, you could probably do it.
I think you can do it.
If you're using
just wrenches. You don't need to use power on that. We've got the new pump all assembled. I had forgotten that this is the variable power steering. It's not actually a sensor. So we did have to take the solenoid off, get that nut off, move this over. You have to pull the OEM connector, the connector for most trucks that don't have like variable power steering. You have to pull that off with the new pump and then install this, which turns the line around and all this fun stuff. We did it all. So now it's completely set up and ready to go back in. There's a mess. This is a mess, that's for sure. But yeah, all you got to do is hook those 2 lines back up and we're ready to put the bracket on. Setting up this new pump did end up taking like 30 minutes because it's a lot of assembly, disassembly, cleaning that needle and seat to control the amount of power steering fluid it can run through. But we got it all done, so I'll leave the rest to Gabe here. 16 then, right? Looks like a 16.
Yeah, it's 16.
Quacks like a 16, it's gotta be a 16. All right, Gabe, here you go. We just got back from O'Reilly's where we picked up the ever tough pulley puller. I said it's got 6 Ps. So, first of all, we have to actually use the pulley puller with the little jaw set up here. So you just slap that guy on there and put the ring on it, but you have to slap the guy on after you get the mandrel in. And then we'll get the old broken shaft out of this thing and we're ready to drop the pulley back onto the new pump. Gabe just finished bolting everything together right here. AC compressor is back on, the bracket's all set up, and you can see there's the nice fresh pump. So in just a couple of minutes here, we'll get this thing apart, and I think your whole job's done other than slapping the fan on. Not only did we just get back from O'Reilly's, we also just got back from Red Robin. Yep. So it was a successful trip to go get a tool, honestly.
It did feel an awful lot like victory.
It felt like victory. What else could it be? Tools and food.
Yeah.
Yep. It's got like an 1/8 of an inch left. Hit it for 1 more second. And you're home free.
Adjust this back down.
Yeah. We did grease the threads before we did this. I know using an impact it's never recommended with any puller, but I have good luck with it as long as you take care of the tool. So if we only had a vise, one of these years we'll own a vise. Finally, hey! Man, it took like 40 turns to push that thing out of there. All right, we got it done. On to the next one. Way easier than I remember this job being. It's crazy when you have all the right tools.
That is probably the main thing that's changed since,
isn't it?
Since, being a kid and then coming to
an
adult. It's like, hey, I can afford tools now.
But we were just cavemen back then.
Bro. We made it happen, though.
Yeah. All these cars got fixed, I can tell you that. The special technique.
The special technique going right here.
The 2 ratchet wrench setup, so it's twice as fast?
That's right.
Okay. Well, this will be done in a second. The only thing left is installing this power steering pump filter you picked up. I think that's a good call for sure. And
it's definitely a good call. Anytime you can filter your fluids.
Yeah. Until that filter fills up and causes a restriction, and then you don't have any power steering.
Well, it's easier to swap out that filter
yes.
than this whole pump.
That's for sure. Right in time for the snow to melt, too. Now you don't need this.
You know what?
Plow Suburban is all back together, and Gabe is ready to start it up for the first time here. New pump, new belt, new tensioner. We just filled it with some power steering fluid he picked up, some Max EZ, and now, fire it up. Let's test it out. I was just saying I'll stand back in case the fan flies off.
Oh, good idea.
Does it always start hard?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey! I would say you've got power steering now.
So easy.
It's
so easy.
okay, it's incredibly loud.
It is loud.
On the floor.
Before I'm sitting here, I'm like literally having to hang on this thing and
yes.
just to get it to move at all.
Absolutely. Seems like a win.
I would say this is a win. Definitely a win.
Well, sweet, man. I'm glad we can get you back into plow action without having to, you know, be sore the next day.
I'm always sore after a plow.
Oh my God. Delete! Can't take this guy anywhere. Can't take this guy anywhere. Well, it does look good. It's a quality install we have here. We're gonna clean up our mess here and call it a day. Totally sorted out.
Yep.
And now there's no snow left. At least by the time you get it back to the school.
We have Friday.
It is supposed to snow again in 2 days.
Yeah.
And this one might be way bigger. This one was huge today.
It was big.
This is the blizzard that closed all of Kansas. But Friday might be even bigger.
Swift, you didn't stand a chance today. I'm sorry. You were gone.
So many semis across the road. That is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to head on over to shopwatchjr.com for cool shirts, not like this. And please like, share, subscribe, do whatever you want to do, and I will talk to you next time. Well, we got to go back to O'Reilly's, drop off power steering, puller machine.
Yep.
Throw away an old belt.
Yep.
And you need to take the core back anyway.
Yep. And I got the other belt to return.
I got
just
it.
in case.
Yeah, the spare one.
Yep.
And also, I got to take back a ton of oil. So.
Oh, cool. Let's throw it all in.
Let's make a run.
Yeah.
Guys, you wouldn't believe how happy Gabe is. He almost flipped the truck because he forgot.
I forgot. I was like, whoa!
Power steering works. All right. We are here at O'Reilly's and we're gonna get rid of all the old oil we've been collecting for a couple weeks and return his core and the extra belt and everything, and we're home free. Then we are done with the plow truck.